have a look here. What? Version 1, 18, 19?
No, 17, 18, version 2.
17, 18, version 2.
Yeah. B section.
We're starting at B. Yes, because I asked you to be good little students and do it at home, didn't I?
No, but then we told you we can't because of presentations, and then you're like, because I was shaking my head and you were like, why are you
Oh yeah, yeah. Your shake of, ain't nobody got time for that. Now, we're having a look at section B. So, I'm not sure if many of you got a chance to try this at home. Is that yes, I tried it, or no, I didn't try it? No.
I looked over it.
You had a look at it and you said, yep, that's some maths there. So, what are we thinking? Guys, come here, and company. What are we thinking here? We've really two choices. You can either, I'm perfectly happy just to do it right now and you can see it, or if you feel like, no, it'd be better for my studies to try B1 before I see it. So it's see or try. What do you want to do? Try. Yeah, well, how about we just go one by one? So we'll try B1. I don't think it's too difficult. I think, in fact, some of you should get it done in 10 minutes. But, of course, in the exam, it shouldn't take you 10 minutes to do it. See how quickly you can get it done. It all looks straightforward. Yeah, it is pretty straightforward, isn't it? Can you give it a go there? It's... finished as well? Time to have a look at it? Great, okay. Let's have a look. Now, that's interesting. That's interesting for part A. But I think the trick with part, the trick with part A is that it's 90 degrees. That's really what's key here. So we have to show that the angle between AB and BC, that's a 90 here. How might we show that? Pythagoras would work, but how?
You would take the, because you would graph it and look at the difference on like the lengths, like AB and BC, and then you could tell. Yeah.
I don't know what you're saying. Yeah. Perpendicular, that's it, yeah. Yeah. Hey, listen. So, there is actually two ways to do this one. I think the way they imagined it is by showing that they're perpendicular. So, what's the AB one? That's going to be AB slope is 5 minus 4, yeah? Over minus 4 minus 7. That's 9 over 3, isn't it? Which is 3. And then for BC, it's 1 minus 5 over 8 minus 4, yeah? Minus 4 over 12, which is minus 1 over 3. And the product of the two is minus 1. Okay. But there is another way to do it. If you were to calculate this distance, and this distance, and if you showed that b squared equals c squared plus a squared, then you have shown that that's a 90. That's what you were trying to say, and you did it so eloquently as well.
Find the sizes.
Yeah, okay. Just work on that now before you do your video interview, okay? But I don't think that's what they pictured here. I think they pictured you using the slope. Right. B1. 3x squared minus 11x plus 8 less than 0. I'm sure this must have factors, although it's 4 marks. It does or doesn't have factors? It does. Right, 3x, 8, 4 and 2? No. 8 and 1. Minus and minus. So the two, 1 and 8 over 3. 1 and 8 over 3. So do we want above or below? Below. So the answer is just closed set 1 to 8 over 3. 4 marks. Thank you. I guess I would have lost a mark. Open set 1 to 8 over 3. And B2 is what? Open. B2, state the integers. So we have 2. Do we even have 3? No, it's just 2. Okay. Oh, because it says state the only integer. So it's only 2. Okay. C. Check if x plus 2 is a factor of x cubed plus 2x squared. Yeah, so you see what I'm doing here. I'm checking the remainder is 0. So that's minus 8 plus 8 minus 6 plus 6. So the remainder is 0. So therefore a factor. X plus 2 is therefore a factor. And now part 2 is to carry out the long division. Which is a little bit, is it? It's the same, part 3, sorry. No, part 2.
Part 2, yeah.
It's a little bit redundant because, yeah, it's not well thought out. Okay, yeah, they're being kind, fine. Okay, we should get remainder of 0 here.
Yeah.
So x squared, x cubed plus 2x squared. Oh, that's nice. Double cancelling. 3x plus 6. So you're just left with 3. Too nice if you ask me. Okay, D. The 13th term of an arithmetic series is 8 times larger than the first term. Show that. Okay, so the 13th term is a plus 12d, and the first term is a. So you get 7a equals 12d. So yeah, are you looking for d? Yeah, so d is 7 over 12a, as required. 2. Find a and d if the sum of the first 25 terms is 2400. So obviously that will help you here. N over 2, 2a plus n minus 1d equals 2400. Now I think they're trying to guide you to replace the d because of the way they wrote it. So what I'll do is I'll bring the 2 up here. I'll bring the 25 down here. This is going to be 2a plus 24 times 7 over 12a equals, this in total is 196? 192. Yeah? So that's 2a plus 14a equals 192. So 16a equals 192. What's 192 divided by 16? Yeah? So if A is 12, what's D? D then is 7. Because you can just use that. See, this is what doesn't make sense to me with the marks sometimes, okay? So if you look, I don't know, I kind of feel like that was, 4 marks was more work than that. You know, so it doesn't quite always make sense to me. Last part, E. Yeah. Find the x cubed term in the expansion 2 minus a quarter x power 10. So the cube one will be 10c3. There will be a 2 and a minus quarter here. What power must this be? This must be 3 because you want the cubed on the x part, which means this must be 7. So we just need to type this in. Minus 240? Yeah? We can agree with that? Yeah. Right, that's B1 done. Let's have a look at B2. Again, I'll give you a few minutes for B2.
But I thought we had to expand until the third term. So
No, it said find the coefficient of the third term. Did you expand it to the cube?
yeah, I found the first.
You worked really hard for your 2 marks at the end there. Really hard. Okay. B2. Exponential, log, and trig. Again, semester 1. Semester 1 stuff. Okay, so we'll give you a few minutes to try B2 now. It's not. Are you sure? Or maybe not. They're a bit light on the trig rules. Hmm? It is, isn't it?
Yeah, I found
Finished, Mo? Will we have a look now? Anyone else finished? Yeah, we'll have a look. Okay. Okay. We have n equals 120 e power 0.04t, and the question is, how many flies do we have at the start? And the answer would be 120, because you just put t as 0. How many flies do we have after 7 days? That would be 120 e power 0.04 times 7. What do we get for that? 159.87. So yeah, 159. Okay. 3, what's the derivative? So the derivative is, you bring down the power for the exponential, So it's 0.04 times 12, e power 0.04 t. 120, I lost the 0 there. 120. So 120 times 0.04. What is it?
24 over 5.
So it's a decimal?
Yeah, 4.8.
4.8?
Just 24 over 5.
Yeah. No, it's fine.
It can be 159.
It's okay?
No.
What?
See, it didn't reach 159 in this case. In reality, questions.
For the previous one?
Yeah.
I understand that. So the question is, do we choose 158 or 159? And, well, not necessarily, because it's not clear for this context what to do with the formula. So, for example, Young Peng, it could be a situation like this. The population of flies, is discrete. And we don't know if the exponential curve fits it in the middle, or as what you're thinking, underneath. I can't tell. There's no context.
Should I state these two situations in my exam?
It's 7, 8, no?
No, because we have to give our answer to 3SF anyways. So
It's not 0.87, it's 0.78.
regardless, it goes up to 59. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was saying. You're playing. So the question is, do we choose 158 or 159? Now, it's not clear. It's not clear because there's no context to tell us how the formula is working. I know what I told you. That was when we were doing geometric sequences. So I'll give you a very, very simple example, like zero, 1, 2, and let's say this is x and this is y, and then this is 0, 1, 2, 3. Now, let's just pretend the heck 0 doesn't go there. Sorry. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so in this graph, maybe when x is 1, y is 1. Okay, and then maybe when x is 2, here it is 2, but maybe when it's a 3, it's here 2.9. Okay, maybe in real life what's happening is that when it's a 1, it's a 1. Let me put the red one in, sorry. When it's a 2, it's a 2. And when it's a 3, maybe in real life it's a 3. Or maybe in real life it's a 2. We don't know. We don't know. We know that they picked this function because it fits it best. And maybe it fits it best because when we round it off. You see, the difference here, Mubarak, is in the geometric questions there was something being built. Like you're building a building, you're baking a cake, whatever. So we had a context that if it was 158.8, then we round it down to 158 because we haven't built the next level. Okay, we don't have the context here. We don't know how the exponential is fitting the points. So in those situations, the best thing I can do is just to round it off. Now I don't know what the marking scheme. I can have a look.
Yeah, it's 159.
159 then. Okay. 4. When does the rate equal 16? Okay, well we've seen what to do here. So first thing we should do is divide by 4.8. Next thing we should do, log and log, because that log cancels the e. And last thing we should do, divide by 0.04. And this is our answer. Now, what is it exactly? Or is it exactly 30? 30.1. Now, Mubarak, this is a situation where, because of the English in the question, we have a little bit of a context. Okay? So please pay attention carefully, because there's a little bit of English going on here. Just to be clear, here's t, there's 0, there's 1, there's 2. Okay. So if I set the A, B, C. All right. Which letter is during the second day? A, B, or C? During the second day? B. Because the second day is between 1 and 2. Okay. Now the question says during which day? Okay, fine. So we got 30.1. So there's 30, there's 31, and 30.1 is here. Okay? So this happens during this day. Which day is that? Well, let's go back to this example. What did we say B was? The second day. So this happened. Now, I'd be very, very disappointed with the marking scheme if they say the answer is 30. I'm very disappointed. I'm very disappointed. Because the answer is the 31st day. Or, I suppose the 31st day is represented by t equals 30.
They accepted both 30 and 30.
They accept 30.1.
And 30. They said anything.
But at the beginning of the question,
Yeah, it's t less than 30. What's the point of that?
Oh, t says less than 30.
Yeah.
Less than 30.
What's the
So it
point
can't
of
even equal 30. Those sons of a guns. They don't know how to write a maths question.
Yeah, the marking scheme says t is equal to 30 or anything rounding to 30.1.
T equals 30.1, which at the very beginning, you're right. What was the point in saying that if bunch of... oh wait, hang on, this is being recorded. Terrible, absolutely disgraceful. Okay. The correct answer is the 31st day, but that's not really possible because we actually stop here. So
do we stop
we
before
could...
that? Because it's less than, it's not saying equal.
Yeah, it actually stops slightly before that. So, technically speaking, the answer should really be not the 31st, but never, because it never reaches 16, because it reaches it at 30.1, which is outside the range. So, yeah. The only thing I can think of is perhaps they meant to say less than or equal to 30, I don't know. Or maybe they meant to say less than or equal to 31. I think their intention was they meant 1 month.
Yeah.
Probably what they were going for. And to think somebody got paid to write this.
What do you do in that situation? Like, do you just take what the marking scheme says, or?
Well, I have to, and then what I'll do. So, for example, the last exam I corrected was the Intake 2 physics exam, end semester 1. There were 3 questions which the marker got wrong in the marking scheme. 3 mistakes he made when he wrote the marking scheme. So even though my students had those 3 parts right, I had to mark them all wrong until I got permission to mark it right, you know.
But,
Yeah.
the people who made a mistake, like, for example, they wrote 30, which is a mistake, would you give them the mark?
What I would do is I have to do whatever the marking scheme says. To me, I would argue that a student who writes t equals 30, 30.1, or 31st, they're all acceptable. But the question said t is less than 30, so that means there's no answer. And I don't think they really meant that.
Yeah.
You know. This is the same thing happened in the physics exam. The question had some information in it, and then in the marking scheme they had a different piece of information. So I think what sometimes happens is they write a question, they write the answer, they realise their answer doesn't make sense, but then they forget to go back and change the question. I think is likely what happens here. Okay, so I think for me, if this came up in your exam, I would make a request that any student who has one of these three answers gets the mark then. Okay, B. Log base 8x plus log base 8x minus 3 equals 2 over 3. Right, so I think we know what to do first here. This is the first rule of logs. So multiplying this out, this is x squared minus 3x equals 2 over 3. So 8 power 2 over 3 equals x squared minus 3x. That's 4, isn't it? So that's x squared minus 3x minus 4 equals 0. 4 and 1? This way. So x equals minus 1 is no good, because they tell us x should be bigger than 3. So the answer is x is equal to 4. Huh? Yeah? Yeah? C now. Can I scroll down? No? Yes? Okay. C. What do we want? We want S or. Cosine rule? S or equals square root 17 squared plus 15 squared minus twice 17, 15 cos 53. What did we get here?
14.39.
14.4 then. Okay, part 2. What's the area of PSR, is it? So that's just a half 17, 15 sine 53. So what's that?
102.
What is it?
101.826.
So it's 102 centimeters squared. 3. Find the shortest distance from P to the line SR. So you can say half the base, times the perpendicular height, which is what they want, is equal to the area. See, that's why they had you do the previous two parts. Why did I write that? Sorry, 102. So H is 204 over 14.4. What's that? 14.2 centimeters. And then lastly, we want to calculate sine PQR, is it? PQR over sine or... I'll have to draw that now. PQR, they want sine of this guy, no, PQR, this guy, over RPQ, or PQ, this one. So they want this one over that one. Well, I think it's a sine rule. You can say sine PQR over 15 equals sine RPQ over 18. So that means sine PQR over sine RPQ equals 15 over 18, which is 3 goes in 5 over 6, isn't it? 5/6?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you get that?
I thought we had to find the angle.
No. No. Yeah? We got that? Right. A tray. We've got a calculus question now. Okay, let's give that one a go. Yeah.
I use the area formula. It's 2 times length times width, 2 times length times height, and 2 times width times height for the area.
Yeah, but there's no top on it. So you need to subtract then the top, because your area formula is counting as if it had 6 sides.
Okay, so 1 times.
Got it finished, Serena? nearly finished, guys? Yeah, will we have a look? Mo? Serena? Yeah. Maybe we'll have a look now. Okay, so find h in terms of x, and the volume is 1200. So we know that for x by 5x by h should equal 1200. So that means it's 1200 over 20x squared, which is 60. 60? 60 over x squared is the answer for the first one. Part 2, what's the area? So you have the base, which is 20x squared. That's the bottom. Then you have 4 sides. Okay, so you have 2 on the left and right. So that would be twice 5xh. Then you have the front and back, which is twice 4xh. Yeah? So that's 20x squared plus 10x by 60 over x squared plus 8x by 60 over x squared. X cancels x cancels x. What I can do is add them together. 600 plus 1080 over x. Yeah? 3. Find the x that makes it a minimum. So calculate the derivative. So dA dx. Oh, and by the way, you should maybe change that as 20x squared plus 1080 x minus 1. Because then the derivative would be 40x minus 1080 x power minus 2 equals 0. So that means 40x equals 1080 x power minus 2. So that means x cubed is 1080 over 40. So x is the cube root of that, which is 3. Confirm it's a minimum. If we calculate the second derivative, we get 40 plus 2160 x minus 3, which is obviously positive when you sub in x as 3, which makes it a minimum. Convex. Oh, that ends part A of the question. Now on to B. A substitution integration. So we're told that u equals x cubed plus 4. So du dx equals 3x squared. So that means dx equals du over 3x squared. So our integration becomes x squared over u power 4 du over 3x squared. Well, the x squareds cancel. So that's 1 over 3 integrate u to the minus 4 du. So that's 1 over 3 u increase the power, divide by the new power. So that's minus 1/9, 1 over u cubed plus c. That's that one done. And then lastly, find the volume. So the volume is equal to pi, integrate from 1 to 2, the square and square root cancel. So my question is simply to integrate this, which is 2x cubed minus 4x squared plus x, from 1 to 2, multiplying the answer by pi. So if I put in 2, that's 2, 4, 8, 16. 16 minus 16 plus 2. And then if I put in 1, so that's 2 pi. What's that? 2 minus 4 is minus 2 plus 1 is minus 1.
Plus pi.
So plus pi. So the answer is 3 pi. There you go. It's that one. Right, that marks the end of number 3. Okay, so now on to number 4. So try number 4 now. Oh, Safra, where were you? Okay. I didn't see you leave. Yeah, you must have left very quietly. We're trying now B4. Are we ready to have a look at the next one? Will we, or do you need more time?
Yeah, it's a bit long.
Okay, just a couple of more minutes then. Take the attendance. Michelle, I have Abir, Autumn, Celine, Sevilla, Mubarak, Shadera, Mohamed, Moza, Angela, Ahmed, Safra, Mahmoud, where was I? Gafar, Amjad, Zara, Mo, Daniel, Savi, Sabrina, Alfreda, Arya, Chidi, Yung Peng, Amna, Mariam. Yeah. No, Mohammed, Mahmoud, and Amjad. And it's so flippin' quiet, isn't it? Like, time to do it?
It's 1 more minute.
One more minute, okay, 1 more minute. Giving up. Angela, Arya, how are you doing over there with this one? Did you get it finished? No? Is it the last part? Yeah. Let's have a look at it. Okay, so the first part is nice. It says show that the line L is a normal. So the first thing we'll have to do is get the slope. So the derivative here is x minus 1. And the x in this case is 3. So that's 2. So it should, okay, so let's get the slope of the line. So that would be 2 minus 3 over 5 minus 3, which is minus 1 over 2. And if you multiply that slope by the slope of the tangent, what do we get? Minus 1. Therefore, it's perpendicular, so it's a normal. There's other ways to write it, but this is the shortest way. Part 2 is the area.
You have to find the line out.
We don't have to, do we? No, we don't have to. And I'm not going to, because I'm pig lazy. So the first thing is, we have to integrate from 0 to 3. A half x squared minus x plus 3 over 2 dx. Then, if we look at the piece at the end, what shape is it at the end, the next piece? Yep. So that's made of, so if you look here, I've just done that piece, but then there's a piece here where they want this shape. If we look at that, what shape is it? That's a rectangle and a triangle. So Mo, you suggested finding the equation of the line, but they never asked us to do that in part 1. So I'm not going to bother doing that in part 2. Oh, yeah, okay, but I think it would be just as easy if I say rectangle, which is base by height. It's 2 and 2. And then the triangle, which is half the base by the height. And the height is what? It's 1. Now I'll just draw the shape we're looking at. We're looking at this shape at the end. So you're told that this is 3 and this is 5. So that there is 2. And you're told that the height here is 2. And the height on this side is 3. So that means that is a 1 and that's a 2. So 2 by 2 plus a half, 2 by 1. Okay. So, yes, of course. X cubed over 6 minus x squared over 2 plus 3 over 2x, 0, 3 plus 5. 5. Well, what are you giving me? The total? Which is what? Thank you. Thank you. Okay. B. Find dy dx. So what rule do we need for that one? I think we'll need the implicit and what else? Product, yeah. 6x squared minus bracket 2y. Sorry, 6x, not 6x squared. 6x minus 2 bracket, for flip's sake, 6x minus bracket 2y plus 2x dy dx plus 3 dy dx equals 0. 6x minus 2y minus 2x dy dx plus 3 dy dx equals 0. I shall take these two to the right and group them together. So that's 3 minus 2x bracket bracket dy dx equals 2y minus 6x. So my answer is 2y minus 6x over 3 minus 2x. That's part 1. Show that the stationary point occurs when y equals 3x. Yes. Dy dx equals 0. Therefore, 2y minus 6x equals 0. Remember, when you have a fraction that's equal to 0, it's only necessary that the top is equal to 0. So then that means 2y equals 6x, so y equals 3x. Find the stationary value. Right. Now that's a little tricky. What do we do? What do we do? They want us to find x and y now. So we know that this must be true for it to be a stationary point. So this must be true. But if it's on the curve, which it must be on the curve, then this equation here must also be true. So solving the pair together would give us a point which is on the curve and is a stationary point. So if we can find a x and y, so sub in, right? 3x squared minus 6x squared plus 9x equals 6. Minus 3x squared plus 9x minus 6 equals 0. Divide by minus 3. So that's x squared minus 3x plus 2 equals 0. So x minus 2x minus 1 equals 0. So what are the two values of x? 1 and could also be 2. And if we use this, we can get the y. 3 and 6.
answer.
Can you, if
Which
I,
part?
If I, for the line L above,
Yeah.
if I found the line L, I just need to add it and that's it, right? So it would be the curve plus the line. From
Yes,
yeah,
correct.
and then that's it.
Sir,
Yeah.
for the area, it should be 19/2.
Well, they told me 45 over. What did you say?
It's,
45 over 2.
19/2, same as Mackenzie.
Oh.
Yeah,
It's 19 over 2?
Yeah,
Why did you tell me 45 over 2? Oh, okay, fine.
it's 19.
Thank you. So, don't trust Angela? Yeah, okay. Fine. No, I can live with that. Alright, C. Quotient rule, they want the derivative of this. So, it's the bottom squared. The bottom times the root of the top, minus the top times the root of the bottom. And they tell us that this is equal to 1 over 32, and our job is to find the x and the y. So we first have to find the x. Multiplying out the top, I get x minus 6 minus x plus 8, and then bring the 32 over, and that's 1 times x minus 6 squared. Oh, well, that's nice, because the x's cancel. 8 minus 6 is 2. So 64 equals x minus 6 squared. So that means x minus 6 equals plus or minus 8 when you take the square root. So that means x is 6 plus or minus 8, which is 14 or minus 2. So if we sub those in, we can get the y is
Sub it in the original? Or
the original, yeah. So 14 minus 8 is 6, yeah? 6 over 8, is it? 3/4? And then if you sub in minus 2, minus 10 over minus 8, which is 10 over 8, which is 5 over 4. Right, so there are the two answers there. Still have B5 and B6 to do next. Yeah.
So the other way around? 14 is 3 over 4.
Did I put my x's in backwards? 14 and what was this one? Minus 2. Thank you. Thank you. B5 looks like a nice probability and statistics question. And no, and B6 also looks like a nice probability and statistics question. So to me, it seems like in this exam, I think the easiest questions to do would have been 1, 2, not 3, 4, and then 5, 6. So I think if you were doing this, you want to be looking at making sure you are confident with those questions, because if you've got a paper like this, to me 1, 2, 5, 6 are the best 4 to choose for this paper. Yeah, especially number 5. Number 5 looks really straightforward.
6 is not nice.
6 is not nice. Are you sure?
I don't like it.
Well, which do you like more, 6 or 4?
I don't like the hypothesis test.
So you like 4 more than 6?
Yeah.
Really? And what about 3?
Actually, 3 is better.
Then 6?
Yeah. 3 is better than 4. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, and 5. That's easier.
3?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, and 5.
Okay. I guess you'll be one of those crazy doctors. Right. Do we have class tomorrow?
Medical.
The medical prep stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. That's right. We have one topic left to cover, area and volume then. Okay. All right, we'll wrap it up there. So
So.
Yeah.
Still confused about the question. The coordinates of the points were the gradients of the tangents to the curve.
So it's just a way of saying dy dx equals,
Just to equal the...
yeah,
the
1 over
gradient,
32.
So do they always give cubes and cones
Do they always give up?
for there's always a volume area question.
Ah, no.
Always cubes and cones?
Well, I wouldn't say there's always a volume question. They sometimes do a optimization problem like a story. I wouldn't say they always do it, no.